or Jason knows, so, don't you know? Yeah, go look in there. If you don't mind, if you can just go. We've got a couple of things going on. Excuse my voice, I'm coming off a little bit of a cold. We have a lot of things going on today. First off, we have Jason. We better have Jason. But we have Jason. And secondly, we have a new business coach that we're going to be introducing, who is going to be working with the current business coach that we have, which is Imran Ahmad, fabulous guy. This business coach is going to be geared more toward experienced agents. A lot of you guys in the room. So we're trying to kind of break the mold of, we got rid of production coaching and now we're calling it, we missed you at paint night the other night. Just saying. You did sign up, right? And you weren't there. Yeah, no, I'm talking. You're the only man there. I'm just saying. We missed you. So we're trying to get rid of production coaching and really make it more of a business coaching feature. So Imran can coach everybody. Imran's got the qualities, the credentials, he's got it all. We're going to be bringing in somebody who is going to be able to help our more experienced agents. So we will be introducing that person shortly. What I want to do right now, this is a big day. It's an election day. Who's voted? Oh, heck yeah. Go, Ross.
It was weird, there were no lines at any of the polling places.
Are you going? You vote? I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Are you already voting? Well, you could have done this so we didn't have to go through all that. Did anybody have any problems voting? Was everything easy?
Yeah.
Everything was easy. All right. So, y'all don't know. I was so scared Jason wasn't going to show up. I was having an absolute mild panic. It wasn't even mild. There was all the stuff was going on, y'all. I was about to like, But this is what I like to say about voting. If you don't vote, you can't bitch. And we all love a good bitch session. So if nothing else, get out there and vote just so you can get in it and complain. If your candidate doesn't win, you can be like, well, that's because I voted. But if you don't, you're not that right. So everybody get out and vote. Our beautiful Jan Alacardi, with hair longer than I've ever seen, blowing in the wind over there. I love it on hair. I'm sorry, I love hair on Jan. If I had hair like Jan, don't you love it? It's so pretty. But do we have anybody in this office who has served or is currently serving in the military? Anybody else?
Any family members?
Do we have family? There we go. My dad was World War II. Does anybody have?
World War II also.
Really?
My niece is serving right now in the military department.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
The navigator, World War II. My dad was
Seriously.
career military too.
Okay, how cool is all of that? So, thank you. Thank you to everyone who has served. Is he on right now? And a little late in the meeting, we are going to delve into that. Right now, we do have our special guest on here, guys.
I'm here.
One moment.
Jason, you scared the living crap out of me.
Why? I was like a minute late. By the way, I've been to
Be
Georgia
there.
before. Y'all are always late.
Screw that, you guys. Not maybe listen. We had this whole group of people, and they do always start right at 11. Sometimes, we got a little. We got
Are
a
you
little
kidding?
going on.
Y'all don't ever start right at 11. Y'all always pretend it's the first time there's traffic. I've been to your, come, give me a break. You always act, you're so shy. There was traffic.
But that's all this more special that all these people were here at 11, and I was having a minor heart failure that you were on there. So thank you. Thank you for being there. But I know everybody knows who this is.
No.
Who is he? What? Who he is. This is Jason Abrams. Can we just give it up? And Roswell is having a great year. And you are just making it that much better by being with us today. Let me tell you a little bit about Jason. Jason is the head of industry learning at Keller Williams, which is, let's give it up for Keller Williams, the world's largest real estate franchise by agent count. Y'all are. Jason brings more than 20 years experience with Keller Williams to his current role, previously serving as an operating principal, team leader, KW Max coach, founding board member of KW Kids Can, which is a nonprofit. Jason is a mega agent business owner. Did you do all this stuff, Jason? It's amazing.
You don't have to read it. They don't care.
I want a mega agent business owner who sold real estate across 3 continents. His companies have been recognized as top producing real estate teams by Real Trends and nominated for an Inman Innovator of the Year award. But
I
the
won
most
that.
exciting thing that's going on right now, at least that I can tell, is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast.
Yes, we actually won the Inman Innovator of the Year award for that podcast. That's your podcast, KW. You have 700,000 downloads. You get like 60 to 80,000 a month now. It's pretty incredible.
Did y'all hear the most innovative industry podcast voted by Inman? So be sure and check it out. You can get it on Apple, Spotify, wherever you guys get your podcast. So with that being said, Jason, take it away.
Isn't it funny now that you get an award from Inman, you start quoting them even as if they're right on this, but have been wrong on everything else since the dawn of time. So it's a kind of a comical thing.
Yeah, it's 100% accurate. Yeah, that's definitely that's the way to go with that.
Well, hey, everybody, thanks for having me. Well, let me ask you this. What's the best thing that I could do in the time that I have? Do you have a feel for that? Okay.
You got questions?
Yeah, I mean, like in your mind, is it just make everybody richer over the next 20 minutes? Would that help?
Yeah. We're down.
Okay. I can do that. So that's great. So here's the way that I think about the world. I think of it in terms of facts and then actions, which isn't that popular these days, but I still think facts matter. And facts are those things in my mind that come from math, because math, not because feelings. And so there's this type of person where you ask them what they think and they tell you how they feel. Those are called red hats. If you look at the 6 thinking hats from De Bono, I'm not one of those. I'm going to tell you what I actually think, but I'll base it on the actual numbers. And so here's the deal. 48% of all the listings in this country have been on the market for at least 60 days. And 7 out of 10 of the listings have been on the market for 30 days or more. And so when you look at that, here's what I can tell you as a fact. That's going to lead to more expired listings, and it's going to lead to more canceled listings. It's going to happen. And so I would tell you that there's about to be a huge opportunity there. I always look at the math and then I say, well, who's the best in the country at doing it? Pete Ruiz is probably the best in the country right now with expired listings, I think. I think he has the clearest model. Did 160 million last year, all on expired listings, mainly in the luxury sector. So he gets it. And here's what he says. He says that luxury or all canceled comes down to 3 things: price, preparation, and presentation. And I think that those are really the smart way to think about it. And so here's how he talks about those 3 things. He simply calls in a TCPA friendly and compliant way and says, if I had a buyer for your home, would you still interested in selling it? And then they say, yeah, but I'm getting a ton of phone calls. And he says, I totally get that. And then they say, but you didn't even show my house. And if you had a buyer, you should have brought it. It was on the market for the last 6 months. And he says, that's the thing about me, though. You didn't hire me to find you one. So I haven't been working on it at all. I specialize in selling homes that didn't sell the first time. And I find buyers for people that hire me to do so. So what I'd like to do is spend 30 minutes with you. And here's the thing. If I'm right, you have everything to gain. If I'm wrong, you only lost 30 minutes and you have nothing to lose. That's how he gets in the front door. Then when he gets there, he says, look, selling homes that didn't sell the first time breaks into 3 things: price, preparation, and presentation. Price is what's going to govern how many showings you get. It's going to take 20 to 25 showings to get 2 to 3 second or third to get one offer. So at any point, you can lower the price to raise the number of showings. Preparation, I'm going to make this house look better than anyone else. And here's how I do it. Most agents focus on the inside. I focus on the outside first, then the inside. The outside is make sure it's clean and it looks better than everyone else. The inside breaks into two parts. First, removing stuff and then adding stuff. I think this is genius. He says, we're going to remove 30% of the things in your home. And they get kind of weird. And he goes, here's my job. It's to make the rooms look bigger and the ceilings look taller. That's what people want. You can only do that by removing. So we're going to remove 30%. Of the things we remove, it's going to break into two categories. Number one, furniture. Number two, personal things. Photos of you. We got to remove all that stuff. The first one makes the rooms look bigger and the ceilings look higher. The second one allows people to imagine themselves in the house. Then the next step in preparation, we're going to add some stuff. And here's what we're going to add. The most trendy furniture we can find. And I know what you're thinking. You don't like trendy. But here's the thing. If we took a brand new home and we filled it with old furniture, it would look outdated. And so when we take an older home and we fill it with trendy stuff, it looks more current. And that's our job. And so this isn't about what you like. This is about what you like to sell your property. That's going to take care of preparation. And then finally, presentation. And I think this is really smart, gang. He says, presentation, it's my job to make your home look better to everyone else. Primarily, I do that on the internet. And so let me tell you my MLS internet strategy. Now, stop the conversation. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 different strategies for the MLS. I'm not going to tell you I like any of them. What I am going to tell you is that if you cannot articulate your MLS strategy, then you're like every other real estate agent. And if you're going to sell homes that didn't sell the first time, your job is to stand apart. So you have to have it. So here's an example of an MLS strategy. I only use 8 professional photos. Other agents use 80. I use 8 to show them just enough to get their interest, but never too much so that they don't need to see the property. So 8 photos forces them to come see the home. I'm going to be there to help sell it. Now, you might not like that strategy. I'm not going to tell you what I think of it, but it's a strategy, and homeowners understand it when you say it. Another one might be, I'm going to change the order of the photos every 48 hours. And the reason that I do that is because there are people that are buyers, and they get what's called house brain, which means they sit and they keep Zillow up on their computer 24 hours a day, and they just keep hitting refresh, and then a property pops up and they immediately look at the first photo, the primary, and they make a judgment on the house. It's called judging a book by its cover, which, by the way, is the only reason books have covers, is so we can judge them. People judge by covers all the time. It's a good thing. But here's the problem. They might love this property, but if they don't like the primary photo, they're never going to click in to find out. So every 2 days, I change the order of the photos. So if they hate the front, maybe they'll love the pool. And if they hate the pool and the front, maybe they're going to love the kitchen. And if they hate the kitchen, then maybe it's the bathroom in the master that gets their attention. I'm going to change the photos often enough for them to click at one of them and finally see your real estate. And that's how I get more engagement online. Okay, that's a strategy. Won't tell you what I think of it. Don't care what you think of it. It's a strategy, though. How about the next one, which is when you type in an address in Google now, you're getting the first line of the comment section underneath the address. So my strategy is to have the best first line in the business. I write the best first lines that stop people from scrolling, and I'm a poet when it comes to the first line. Don't care what you think of that, but I am telling you it's a valid strategy. So here's my point. Absent of having a strategy, then how you're presenting the property is going to fall flat. You take Pete's equation, price, preparation, and presentation, and I think you have something really easy to go out, and I think someone's going to get really rich with canceled and expireds. That's what I think. All right, next, baby boomers. If you have any baby boomers in the room, let me just tell you, y'all are getting older. I know. It's depressing. Baby boomers are between 60 and 78 years old. And here's the fact about that. They own 38% of all the homes in the United States, which is crazy to think about. But it also offers an amazing opportunity. So that's the fact. Let me give you the way I think about it. Sue Adler, who does about 350 million a year in sales, she does one thing very well, the seller seminar, because she's focused on that age group. That's who she wants to work with. And here's how she thinks about it. She says, you know, people that are between 60 and 78, odds are whoever sold them their property might be as well, because people do business often with their contemporaries. But what do you know about those people? Well, at some point they hope to retire, and then no one get offended by this. You're all going to be dead. I know it's so hard to think about that, but it's the truth. Okay. Trust me on this. And so the thing about that is if you wake up thinking they already have an agent, that agent may already be retired or worse off. So they actually don't have an agent. That's her first premise. Number two, a lot of them haven't sold a property in 20 plus years, which means they're not sure on what the process is today, which is her second premise. And her third premise is a lot of them have a house full of 20 years, 30 years worth of memories. So the homes are outdated, the houses are full of clutter, and there's a ton of stuff it'll take to get ready to go to market. So she specializes in making their lives easier. So here's what she does. She does the seller seminar. She holds one every 2 weeks, and she alternates between in person and on Zoom. The seller seminar is 1 hour long, and all she does during the seminar is teach listings. Think of it as a listing presentation, but instead of giving it to one person in their home, you're giving it to whoever shows up. You're going to talk about price, presentation, and preparation. And she walks them through the process, paying special note to preparation. And here's what she says. I specialize in helping people that are right sizing. And because of that, I have a list of vendors. We have all the vendors you could ever need. Landscaping, handy people, decluttering, cleaning the garage, fixing the plumbing, doing the painting, changing the floors, updating the backsplash, fixing the kitchen countertops. You can't think of a thing that we don't have somebody for, and we handle it all for you. Now, I'm just going to tell you that age group finds that wildly attractive. And here's what she said to me. She said, if you spend an hour teaching them the process, you're ultimately on a long enough timeline going to get the business. And I said to her, Sue, how many people do you get to show up for a seller seminar? And she said, Jason, that's the wrong question to ask. And I said, well, why? And she said, well, you're thinking like a teacher, which is I show up in a classroom and unless it's full, I feel like I'm failing or I'm wasting my time. But here's the question. If you spoke to one seller today, you went on one listing appointment today, would you grade it as a good day? And I was like, yeah, if I could talk to a seller every day, that'd be a good day. She's like, great. If you went on 3 listing appointments today, how would you grade it? And I was like, are you kidding me? That would be like the best day. That's like me hanging out in a pool with Master P for a whole day. That'd be like the best day. And she's like, okay, cool. Here's the thing. If you hold a seller seminar and you get 3 people there, you feel like a failure. But if you went on 3 listing appointments, you feel like a success. If you're doing the pre-listing seminars, then you're actually doing 3 listing appointments that day. So it doesn't matter if you have 1 person, 3 people, or 10 people. And my head exploded all over my computer screen when she told me that. I think it's genius. And I asked her, I said, well, is there any other hint? She said, yeah. On the in-person one, do it at a public library. And I said, why? And she said, because I rented out a fancy steakhouse and no one came. But there's a segment of that age group. Remember, guys, 60 to 78. These are people that actually go to libraries. They actually go to the libraries. She's like, as soon as you do it at a library, you're considered to be sponsored or accepted by the city in their mind because they think of it as a community building. She's like, you will see higher conversion rates if you do it at a library. I never would have thought of that because I'm not old. But that's genius. It's simply genius. And I know I joke about the baby boomers. I love y'all. There's never been a generation that's made more money than you. And it's going to leave it to the millennials. Congratulations on that. Hope that feels good to you. It's happening. It's the truth. The other thing I would tell you is the golden letter for that age group. And there's a kid, Will Van Winkler, who we study deeply. Now, this is going to irritate a lot of you. Will is 23. He just completed his first full year in real estate and he made $1.4 million. I know he's 23 because when I asked him what he was going to do with the money, he said he was buying a black leather couch. So I asked him how he did it. He said, I'm an introvert. And I said, okay. And he said, I don't like lead generating and I certainly don't like talking to strangers and I don't really like talking to people. And I was like, oh my gosh, have you considered being a home inspector? And he said, no, but I needed to find a model that worked for an introvert. And I said, well, what was it? And he said, the golden letter. And I said, how does it work? He said, step one, went into the MLS. Step two, found the areas that had the most turnover, the most sales. Step three, I send them a letter every month. And I said, well, what does the letter say? And he said, it says, if I had a buyer for your property, would you be interested in selling it off market? If so, please call me. And then his cell phone number. Now make sure you comply with any rules about whether, you have to put on the bottom, you're an agent, all of this sort of thing. And I said, that's it. And he said, that's the whole letter. That's it. I said, well, what do your numbers look like? He said, for every 1,000 letters I send, I get 10 incoming phone calls. And for every 10 incoming phone calls I get 1 to 2 appointments. And I said, that's incredible. What else do you do? And he said, that's all I do. That's all I do. And I send tens of thousands of letters. And I said, well, how'd you start? He said, I started by sending 1,000. Then when I had my first closing, I reinvested and sold 2,000. Then after that, I reinvested and sell 3,000. So he just grew that business. All he does is send letters. There's nothing else. I was blown away by that. It works incredibly. We documented it in the MREA volume 1 and 2. We have a podcast with him coming out on December 16th, where he's going to walk through it in detail. We have a podcast with Sue Adler. When is Sue's podcast coming out? That's in January. Pete Ruiz is coming out on December 9th. If you want to master his plan. Here's why I'm trying to tell you all that. Every week on the MREA podcast, we meet with one of these agents and unpack their models in detail. So if you're sitting there and you're like, that's a great idea, I wish I knew more about it. That's the podcast. Then you have to check every Monday just to see which model we're unpacking. That's literally how I would be running my business. And here's the last thing I'm going to lead you with. And I did it the other day and it went well for me. I'm looking for a book and I'm going to find it. So be patient. Trisha, where is my book? Come help me. My little spider book. No, where is it? Hang on, we're gonna find. Do you see it? Yes. Friends, it's one of my favorite books. It's The Itsy Bitsy Spider. And I just want to take a second and remind you of this story. The Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the water spout, right? Down came the rain and washed the spider out. People love this. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And then here's the big finish. And the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the spout again. It went back up. And I read this the other day and it dawned on me. What kind of stupid ass spider is this? Like literally the dumbest animal of all time. Why would you spend the time to build on top of a water spout only to get washed away and then not learn that lesson and build in the exact same place, hoping for a different result? I just want to tell you, I'm going to put my Nostradamus hat on. Here's what's going to happen. It's going to rain again. Okay? I promise. And so here's the lesson. If you are going to do the same things you did last year and hope for a better result in 25, you are not going to get one. You are going to get washed away again, just like this stupid spider, which is why I'm begging you to think about what you're going to do different. And all I'm trying to do is give you a few ideas of something you can do that's different, because we read this to our kids and we say it's a story about resilience and you keep doing the same shit always. That's so dumb. please, friends, look up at what's happening in the world, what's happening in your market, and then ask the question, what's the easiest way for me to get the number of leads I need, to have the conversations I need, to sell the amount of real estate I need to go fund my life? Not the hardest way, not the dullest way. Don't try to force yourself to do something you don't like, but what's the easiest way? Because that's a question worth answering. All right, gang. I thank you for letting me join you. I'm going to give
Thank
you
you.
my contact info. So my email address is jason@kw.com. If I offended you, and I always do, I'm sorry. You don't have to email my boss. Gary gets enough emails. You can just email me directly. It's okay. You can tell me. I'll talk to you about it. And I'm sorry. And thank you for being part of KW. I know you got a million choices out there. And the fact that you choose to affiliate with us is the greatest honor that we could have. So thank you for having me, and
Thank you.
good luck.
Thank you, Jason. It happened.
That was amazing.
It actually happened. I was like, for a few moments here this morning, I was thinking, this is not gonna happen. We are not gonna pull this off, but it happened, and that was absolutely amazing. And what if y'all are, don't be a stupid spider. I think that was Jason Abrams unplugged.
Yeah.
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 He just tells it like it is.
He didn't hold anything back. I absolutely love it. And I always think it's so funny when people give us advice that we already know, and they kind of phrase it a little differently. We're like, "Oh, that's brilliant. Y'all already know what to do. Y'all already know what to do. So, are we back on target now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for lunch. Residential Inspector of America, are you back there?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's hard to follow.
I know.
I'm not back on energy today. Can I write something here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
I am gonna tell you guys, wait, hold on, 7, I can't multitask.
Take your time.
6, 3, 0. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna tell you guys like 4 facts about Residential Inspector of America, and the first person to text me at that number will get an e-gift card. Okay, so we have been in business since 1989. We do same day inspection, same day, next day inspection guarantees. And we offer a pay at close option that's been really popular lately. And then we also offer same day report. So we will get the report to you, even if we come out late that day, we'll have the report to you by midnight, 11:59 to be exact. So we would love for you guys to use us. We do a lot of business in here. Again, I always love being here. You guys are great. I'm in all the KW offices around here. And this is definitely one of my favorite, and we enjoy and thank you guys for your business. Okay, so the question is, what year do we start?
Text it, text it.
Oh, somebody already texted. Holy, wow.
Playing that game, 'cause I can't text them.
Hold on.
You have to be younger to text.
No, you don't.
One. Okay.
I
Oh, okay.
Check it first.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I was confused. Okay, I'll go down the line. Wayne? Okay, what year did we start? 19. I can't say it yet because they can't. Okay, Adam. All right, you got it. 1989.
Yeah,
Yes.
go Adam.
You guys so much. I will be sending you a gift card.
Awesome. Thank you so much for lunch. We so appreciate you. And
Oh.
let's give it up for Adam too, who was our second patient. Really. And our second, pretty wonderful. Some good stuff.
For you, Adam.
I'm going
Thank you, thank you.
Look, everything. I did it for you. But wait, the most important part. Y'all. Excuse me. Yeah, so get up. Oh, what just happened there, Miss Sarah? Would you like to come on up and introduce yourself? Now, for those of you who do not know Sarah Sloan, she has been with us for a hot minute. She is now coming back to us in a different capacity. She is going to be, of course, still selling real estate, but she is also going to be a business coach. And she is going to be focusing on those of you who have been in business for a hot minute and who are experienced and who need someone who has been where you are and where you want to go. She's going to help you get there. Sarah, tell us about it. First of all, what's that? Yeah.
What's gone too long?
No, you were not. We're not going to count it, but we're still happy to have you.
That's one of my old agents. Yeah. Okay, for some of you that don't know me, I served on the ALC in leadership in the office. Started from, Ignite, Bold, Mega, do all those repeatedly. So what we would be doing, in business growth coaching is we're breaking down sort of the barriers between the offices. I felt like we've always had PC coaching and people have found that for their launch, that's their new agent sort of launch coach. I ran a team for many, many years, still am running a team. As many as probably 10 agents on the team at one time. So a lot of coaching has already happened for me. Those were new agents on the team or experienced agents that came to the team. So it's already something that I've been naturally doing, and I'm very excited now that the PC coaching has turned into business coaching. And the coaches can go across different offices. So you'll see Emron coming in. And as Julie was saying, he will be coaching kind of every level. I'm going to start at the half capper and above. So trying to just, meet some of those goals that people may be hitting a ceiling on. I also feel like sometimes it's a little daunting to go from individual agent to what's that next model look like. Some people run it extremely differently. They do just an assistant, and we'll talk about the different levels and scenarios that you can go. They'll have just a showing agent, and they want to try that out and see how it goes. But the next step to that would be a buyer's agent. And then we would plan to your overall growth plan for your business and look at how the people that you're bringing onto your bench, on your team, can move into other roles. So it's going to be a very individual coaching, very specific for, direction of everybody individually and how they want to, we're going to shape it together. You may start out saying you want to be an individual and I only want to be an individual and I only want to use assistants. And then you may learn that, I want to grow a different way. So we would be doing that together. Ultimately, everybody that's been on my team that I train, their goals are my goals. That's just how I've always run it and truly believe that. We do, what's your vision? If your vision is to get a Bronco, the current girl on my team wants Bronco, and she's visioning herself in that Bronco. When she gets that, I'm going to be just as excited. You want a pool at your house or something like that, we're going to share those goals. But the big thing is service. That is where we want to come from. And I think it's so daunting when you think about this. We are in this business to serve. And that is probably why you got into state. Share with me why you guys got into real estate. Susan? Why'd you get into real estate?
To help people, but I also had really bad agents before, and I thought, well, gosh, I could probably do this better than they did. And Sarah and I ran Ignite together.
We were.
We were.
Why I picked on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But to help you.
serving and helping people.
Kathy?
I'll say what I did. We moved South Georgia to South Carolina, an unknown world to me. And my real estate agent was so fabulous. And the whole time we were together, she kept saying, you ought to be in real estate. You ought to be in
Yeah,
real estate.
so the
3
opposite.
months after we moved in, she called me and said, my assistant wants to be a full-time agent. She's tired of working so hard. That's what she said. I should have known. But I would love you to be my assistant. And she sent me to real estate school and I learned so much. But one thing I didn't learn, new agents, I did not learn from her because she was into the community and everything. I never, ever saw her lead generate. Her business came to her and I thought it would come to me when I came back to Georgia and was an independent agent. So you got to talk to people. But I got into it to help people because she made it such a great experience for me.
That's awesome. Yep. Jill Maxon, why'd you get into the business?
Okay, I got into business because my kids were both in college. My husband said, I think it's time you went back to work, and I said, yeah. So actually, I said, all right, but I'm gonna go in real estate, and he was like, oh my God, don't do that, all we're gonna do is lose money, all you're gonna do is spend money. Don't do that, don't do that. So, but okay, so when somebody says, don't do that, and because I can't do something, I pretty much say, you know.
Oh, Jill goes,
Yeah, I say, "Well, don't do that." But I kind of said, all right, I'm gonna get into it and just go for it.
but why'd you choose it? Out of all the jobs.
Because I really liked, I had done mortgages previously. I liked the fact that time elements, I mean, pretty much, and you know, I have this helping people. I so love the fact that you make people happy. I mean, they're buying or they're selling or whatever. Most of the time, the transactions are great and people are happy. And it's really rewarding to me. And I've also met so many people that I've become friends with that I've sold houses to. I mean, there was one woman that was in my neighborhood. I didn't know her at all. She called me, I interviewed, did the listing presentation. I was up against two other agents and she chose me and we became such good friends. She moved to St. Simon with her all the time. which is
Wow.
A big perk. And my new clients that I'm becoming very good friends with right now, they have a house in Tuscany, so I'm excited. I may get invited there.
But Sarah, we are so excited that you're here doing this coaching next level, filling that gap for
Tell
the.
me where you're gonna be. Where's your office, Bridget? Your
We're
coaching
gonna
office.
be in the new side, right in the corner. And so, yeah, basically what we'll go over is, the theme here was that everybody wants to help other people. And the one that we don't talk about a lot is how we do need to regenerate, and it doesn't sound fun. But what we're gonna do is break that barrier down and make it fun, make it just natural and coming from that same, we're gonna loop it back to the same mindset of being of service to others and helping people. And it won't be a chore.
And tell me about this in person. What is that? What is that?
Oh,
look like?
so in person, team meeting days, I'll be in my office. I have Zoom appointments for now. What we're gonna do is I'm still in, coaching with the director of coaching with KW. I'm taking on right now 15-minute appointments if you wanna talk further and see if this is something that you wanna explore. And so for now, I have just tried to do the same time, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 to 4. We can always add a specific time for whatever your need is, especially if you're dual career student. I can be available any other hours, but wanted you to know that if you want to find me in person in my office, then after team meeting, 2 to 4 on Tuesday.
Absolutely. And these slides will be sent out to you, so you will have this information and you will be able to get in touch with Sarah that way and schedule an appointment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Good to have. Reach out to Sarah, see if she can help you move your career along. I know that she can. Whoop, went too fast. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay, we're both doing it at the same time. Miss Jan. Miss Jan is gonna come up and talk to us about KW military.
Okay. And some of you guys know that KW has a military initiative. Some of you might not. And so what KW has done is they brought it to the market centers. And each market center gets to do their own thing within a parameter. Now, KW military has a few things available. It's this, okay. Where you can belong to the program. Now, you don't have to be a veteran. I'm not a veteran. I never served. But my father-in-law is a 3-war veteran. My brother-in-law served in Vietnam. My mother-in-law is a World War II bride. You know, so my husband's family is very much entrenched in the military, and it was a huge part of them growing up. He was born at the hospital at Ruislip in London. And so what Keller Williams and Mo Anderson have done is they're trying to bring a big awareness to our military. We have a huge military presence here within KW, and they want it to grow all the time. Next week is Red, White, and Blue Day. It's a new initiative, just like Red Day in May. They'll do it every year on Veterans Day. And since we haven't really done anything with veterans here in the office, we wanted to just start slow. But next year, we'd like to do some sort of day of service. And that's what Red, White, and Blue Day is about. But, you know, once a month, we have a veterans-only talk. Matt Grimaldi, he leads that. There are 2 leaders for Keller Williams Military, Dina, I forget his last name, it just escaped me, but they're wonderful people. And they bring so much to that community. And he does a Zoom, it's only veterans only. You can talk about your business, you can talk about your personal life, anything you've got going on in your life, he's there for you. They do one for families. We have a speed dating for referral partners. Have you guys ever heard of speed dating for referral partners? It's fun. We get on there, we're on there for 45 minutes or an hour. We chat back and forth. We talk about our markets, how they're different, how we can help, what we do differently. And it's another avenue to grow our business. You know, what they want us to do is, you know, become, you know, part of the military community. If you have family that is in the military, it's a great way to give back, not only to your family, but other military families. So they have a program, just like Luxury and Land. KW Military has their own program. You can join the basic program. It's free. It's free to all of us. We just participate, and there's multiple opportunities to participate, multiple opportunities for different things. Now they have a pro membership and a pro plus membership. I'm speeding through this, guys, because Kathy Vitale is going to come up here in just a minute and teach us about some VA loan stuff. But you know, we have a lot of stuff going on. This is the speed dating that they've done this year. We still have 2 more this year on the 7th of November and another one on the 5th of December. And it happens every month. One of the things that they're doing in December is Wreaths Across America. And if anybody wants to participate in that, let me know and I'll get you more information. And maybe we can participate in that as an office. You know,
Do you think that's a good idea?
you know,
Yeah.
Keller Williams Military actually goes to Arlington Cemetery in DC and helps put those wreaths on the graves. And, you know, maybe not this year, but maybe next year we can get a trip together and all of us go for a weekend and do that. You know, there's a lot of opportunities. In the PowerPoint, here's the calendar, and you can get access to this calendar, add it to your own personal calendar, so you're not having to download it all the time, and it'll be there. But this is what's going on this month. Anyway,
Do they have to be we might have already said this, do they have to be a military affiliate to get involved?
no, you don't. You know, you can be friends with military people and be involved in the military. We just want to bring a huge awareness throughout KW to our military veterans and what we can do to serve our community, serve our veterans, serve our active duty. You know, we have a base that's all the way on the other side in Marietta. That's the closest base. It's not a big base. I don't even know what they do at that base there.
That's not one.
Dobbin.
Okay, Dobbin.
So we don't have a lot like they do down in Columbus, Fort Moore. Yeah, I think that's what they do out there. But, you know, that doesn't mean we don't have a huge group of veterans here in the Atlanta area that we can serve. There's an agent who is over there on the other side of Marietta, and she has a huge backpack drive for the families, for the military families. You know, because I'm sorry, they don't make any money. You know, they have expenses like we do, and, you know, a lot of times half the parents are gone. And you have these mothers who are scrambling, you know, trying to provide things for them. There's a lot of things as, you know, families we can provide. We can just, you know, we could do a daycare day and just give the mothers, you know, some time off. So over the course of the next couple of months, I'm going to ask for some volunteers. Let's get together and start planning some different things that we can do here in our office as a community for next year for Red, White, and Blue Day. So.
And then before we call up Onward, if you guys want to take out your phones and take a picture of the screen, this is a great social post for next week to honor our military. You can take a picture of the screen and post it to your social media. now.
Oh,
Thanks,
maybe
Raven.
that slide too.
You're so much better than the slide. She'll get the slide and I have to, you'll get the slide and then you better take a picture now.
It's a great idea, right? Thank you, ma'am. Miss Vitale, if you wanna, Miss Vitale on the list.
Yes, there she is. Your turn, Miss Gabby.
There you go. Oh, there you are. I still didn't see her until she stood up.
Sure.
So I will tell you this, you guys, we are seeing more and more VA loans. Are you seeing?
41 years of doing VA loans
Mhm.
for myself. And I say back in the day, it was a little scary because the appraisers were so conservative, but all those guys are dead. So they're old and gone. So the newer, but I'm seeing
Need it.
the newer.
We're all.
The newer appraisers are also conventional and also FHA. And again, all they're doing is trying to protect the veteran. They're not gonna allow mold. They're not gonna allow things in the home that are, that are common sense things.
Jackie, what is it?
What is it? Well, Tammy's gonna do all that. Tammy is taught this class.
So I come from a family of veterans. I actually met my husband when he was serving in the Army. So my dad was actually in the Army, my father-in-law was the Air Force, and my dad actually served in Vietnam. So veteran loans to me and the possibility of helping veterans is so important. And the loan is amazing for anybody who's ever done a VA loan. It gets the bad rap in regards to something, in regards to the appraisal, but Kathy just met on that. We haven't had a low appraisal. We have not.
Not in the year.
So, but I'll talk to you about if a low appraisal should come in and what that looks like. But we're gonna focus on, you guys are gonna get the slide deck, so I think it's a great piece for you guys to have, and we're gonna focus on the VA piece right here. And like I said, you're gonna have this having in comparison with FHA and conventional, and why VA is just such a great loan. So as we know, if they have full entitlement, they go up to $2.5 million.
What is
Right.
full entitlement?
Full entitlement means they get it good as low as 100% financing. They
And
have
do
no
most
down
veterans
payment.
have full entitlement?
It depends. We have to see, we pull their certificate of eligibility, which we can pull within minutes. So if they're happy to share
We
with
can do
us,
that for them.
yeah, we could do it for them. All we really need is their full name that they served under, as well as their social security number, date of birth, and we can pull that.
So
for
they
them.
just need to give you that information and you can
Absolutely.
see what they qualify.
We're not
for.
pulling credit yet.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay.
Yeah, we could do that before pulling credit.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now, there is no minimum credit score for VA loans, but they're overlaid by individual lenders. So please keep that in mind. So for us, a veteran with a 580 credit score we can finance up to $1 million. 660, 2,700,000 up to 2.5. So again, keep in mind that the individual lender is one that does the overlays. The max tips income ratio is run by an automated underwriting system. So we have gotten loans up to 58, sometimes 59%.
58% of their gross income.
Yeah, it's the front end ratio that we're paying attention to, but their back end ratio, we can actually go pretty high. 0 down payment requirement for most veterans. That's the key thing. There's no monthly PMI at all. Now, the PMI, because there's none involved, we can also look at if they qualify, if they receive any type of funds from the military, most likely they're exempt from the funding fee, which means that's good stuff, right? There's no increase in the loan amount because that gets funded up front. So with the student loan calculations, again, if your veteran has student loan balances, we've got the calculation for you there. And there's no gift restrictions, so they don't have to necessarily be family, but we do have to establish the relationship.
Do you think this is underutilized?
I do, so. yeah.
So no down payment. If they have any, even it's $50 a month disability income, no VA funding fee, no PMI, and the rate is better than conventional. It's a no-brainer
Yeah,
for a veteran, just a no-brainer.
and we can get the seller to cover up to 4% of the sales price. So we have had it where sometimes depending on the size of the loan, they may even get their earnest money back at closing, where it means they truly get 100% financing. If they've got a bankruptcy in the past, again, only 2 years needs to pass on a chapter 7 and only 1 year for chapter 13. If it is chapter 13 though, like in any financing, we have to have court approval. So that would be the only thing there. If they've had a foreclosure, again, we realize life happens, 2 years, and then they'll qualify again. If they've got a short sale,
Then again, it's gonna look at 1 year. And again, as your condos, just like you guys know, if they're looking, a veteran's looking at a condo, that condo approval, that project has to be condo, has to have a VA approval. There we go. Similar to FHA. Okay, so a lot of times.
Marketing person get together with our agents and put together something to send out to their database that says, hey, if you're a veteran, please be aware that these wonderful things are available to you, because I really do feel like it's an underutilized loan and that some people, some veterans that we have just sitting on this.
We already have
don't
that.
know.
We just need, you guys just have to reach out to us so we can.
We've got
co-brand it.
co-branded
We've
already,
got
but we
tons
can
of-
create more. Crystal?
My daughter runs a boardwalk girls team, and she's fed hundreds of meals every single day from Veterans United. How are they tapping in? How are they giving so many leads? She's been with them for 10 years now.
Veterans United is just buying them like anyone else.
Yeah.
They're not attached to VA.
No,
They're not VA.
that's not an official.
Yeah, USAA is not VA. They just got great marketing that they
Yeah.
protect it.
But
They
they're
think they are, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. There's no VA mortgage company or VA insurance company. It's just companies that have promoted themselves in advertising to be a representative. Yeah, USAA, y'all, all of these companies are brokers. They're, they're going just like us. They got VA designated underwriters approving it. It's not VA doing anything. So that's kind of a,
That's the big thing.
That's a
misjudgment.
good question,
Yeah.
Crystal. That's a
Yeah.
really good question.
And I'm like, how do these happen to that?
Mm,
So it's just marketing.
yeah, just
It's
marketing.
just like buying leads from any others.
Yes, can talk. Can you purchase a second home with a VA loan?
I want to talk to you about that.
So the question.
So, no mortgage insurance, as we talked about, VA funding fee is rolled in, so that's financed into the loan, they don't have to pay out of pocket. And then the veteran can purchase a single family resident, 2 to 4 unit, VA approved condo, new build, buy and improved manufactured home, energy efficient improvements. And then, of course, they qualify for the income rate reduction program as well, and cash out refinances. So,
Okay, can I
We'll keep
speak
going
to
on that, of
this for a
course.
second? So the military program teaches VA millionaires and how to take this specific loan piece and turn that into a huge portfolio of real estate investment by doing what she's getting ready to explain to you right
Yeah.
here.
absolutely. So no down payment like we talked about, rates on VA loans are lower, like Kathy mentioned, purchase transactions, the seller can pay it. So again, you're gonna get all these rights to have and you can pull data from. Can they use it more than once? This is what we're checking, absolutely. So, and I just closed one for a growing family. He utilized his VA eligibility on a single family home for his family to get started. They started to grow their family, they needed a bigger home. Couldn't sell that particular home because he landed up putting some solar panels and the cost just didn't make sense. But he could get full rent and cover that entire mortgage. So because he had a change in life circumstance and he had additional eligibility for him, we converted that one to a rental. He used his VA eligibility again and bought another property. And again, was able
It's
to
a
get.
calculation we have to do.
And Georgia
Yeah,
is great
It's so
because
good.
if you go back to that slide, you can get up to $2.5 million in loan. It doesn't have to be just one loan, right? Am I
No.
correct?
Correct.
You can split that $2.5 million up into 4 different properties, depending on the circumstances and the location of the property.
And their entitlement. That's
And
the
their
key element. In their
But
entitlement.
they can check that before they pull the credit.
Correct. So in this
Check it
case,
before they pull the credit.
he needed a bigger home, but let's say your veteran is now downsizing and they can rent that particular property and they buy a smaller property. So I mean, there's so many great aspects for the veteran that I don't think they're fully taking advantage of. So we always like to have a conversation. They just don't, and they don't understand the benefits that they're given, and it's so great for them. Now, we get this a lot too. A lot of times people think that the co-borrower has to be a spouse. That is absolutely not true. It can be a veteran and non-veteran that can purchase together. But in this case, though, we do run a separate debt to income ratio, and the veteran does have to qualify for their portion of the payment. Okay, so that's the only thing that we're gonna be looking at.
And
But
usually
we
that's
have
why
that.
they want that other person, so most of the time it doesn't make.
Correct, yeah. So we look at that for them as well. But one of the things that we want to make sure the veteran must occupy, that's most important. So we're looking for them to occupy the property. A non-veteran does not have to occupy. So if they've got a co-borrower in there, that situation, they don't need to occupy the property. The VA will be guaranteed the veteran's portion of the loan only. So this is your veteran and non-veteran slide. If you guys ever come across this, the down payment is going to be required on the non-veteran's portion, but this is just good data to have. The VA funding fee is calculated just on the veteran's portion, and then the veteran must qualify, like I said, for their portion of the housing payment. Okay, and then we do have to submit it, but we have our own VA department, so we can get approvals really quickly, just like we can pull their eligibility. It's 50-50. So if you've got two borrowers, we're gonna take, they have to at least qualify for 50% of their portion of the payments.
Who guarantees the other half? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that's
They have
the
to put a
thing,
down
they've gotta
payment.
put a down payment.
On the other half.
If it's
Yeah,
the
it gets really
non-veteran,
tricky.
What is
Yeah.
the percentage of payment on that?
again, depends on the entitlement, depends on sales price.
No, I mean for the non-veteran.
I think it's right there, 25, could be up to 25. Actually, it really depends, because we've got a calculator that we have to run based on eligibility. So, yeah, it really depends on each of them.
So with the assumable, let's just say that they done the assumable to sell to somebody else. Does that still go against the original veterans?
If they did,
Yeah.
if they assume to a non-veteran,
Yeah.
locks up their eligibility. If they assume to a new veteran, they get their eligibility back. Yeah, so that's important. Now, sometimes if the veteran does not plan on using their eligibility again, let's say they're older and they want to help a new, younger veteran, and they're not worried about that, they'll allow the assumption to go through because they're not planning on buying another property. So we've had that too.
So just be clear, you cannot use the involved for they have to.
Correct.
Need.
In reality, it depends on the lifestyle. If something has happened, ideally probably at least a year, I would say, because they're looking at
Really
finding.
slow on every loan. When they go to closing, their intention has to have that as their primary residence.
Mhm.
If they walk away from that home for just 3 to 6 months later because the lifestyle change,
Unemployment.
there's not like
Yeah.
an unemployment, I mean, something, then it has to make sense even on a conventional and an FHA.
Yeah.
But they're going to closing saying, I am buying this and moving in this home in 60 days or less as my primary residence. And at that point, have no other intention.
We have designated in-house underwriters. which is-
You're gonna get all these.
Yeah, you get all.
Yeah, ready for.
And they're right around the corner.
Yeah.
So y'all can always walk down there and ask them a question. They're right here in
You know,
house.
and you guys think your people are asking you crazy questions? They're asking you these crazy questions because they've heard it from somebody else. So call the experts and ask them the crazy questions because they may not be so crazy. It's like, being able to purchase a fourplex. That's a huge thing.
That's a
That pays their rent times, they get times 3.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand. They could buy a fourplex with VA benefits.
Absolutely. We utilize the rents on the other units to qualify. So yeah, it's really good stuff. But I wanted to give you a little bit more information in regards just so that you can have it based on entitlement, full and partial, just so you guys can kind of see how that plays out. So I won't go into too much detail on this slide because I know we're limited on time. But again, total number of VA purchases, as you can see, there has been over a 200 increase in VA purchases since 2012. So these are good stats, and a lot of times the veteran will be like, well, I have a down payment, but they should still consider VA financing because they're going to get the better interest rate. Okay. 60% of VA clients are previous homeowners. So again, you guys are going to tap in with the veteran. You're going to probably have that veteran maybe for 1 or 2 or 3 transactions. Then again, if you talk to him about utilizing his entitlement for maybe another piece of property, that's good stuff. I mean, don't think it's like a one and done. I really do believe veterans have the ability to start a portfolio, a real estate portfolio for themselves. And then today's VA client profile, as you can see, we broke it down by age, percentage of loans, and you'll see the higher percentages are going to be kind of 26 to 45 in that range. So you'll want to be sure that a lot of times in this, they may not have eligibility just yet depending on the amount of time that they've had in the military. But here's your debt to income ratio as well, credit score. I mean, they're good, they think veterans have poor credit, no money, never closed. Not true. You're looking at veterans' average score in the 700s. They most of the time have funds ready to go. And a lot of times our AUS approval is really high on that. So again, please, if you have the ability to chat with as many veterans as you can, it's so important to make sure that they're homeowners.
The AUS approval is the automated system that looks at the credit, looks at the debt to income ratio, and actually makes the decision for our VA certified underwriter if they can go up above like a standard ratio. It's the approval system that all lenders go by.
And then I know with assumptions, you guys have had a lot of questions, and so we actually put this in here for you guys as well. Pros and cons, just so you would have it. And again, if your veteran is looking at allowing the assumption, here's a good slide for you guys to refer back to.
Okay.
Okay.
Tammy, I have one quick question about that. What is the average time frame on those assumptions?
So again, you're dealing with the servicer that's handling the loan as of right now. And really that window could be 45 to 60 days. It is a process. So that's where you just have to make sure that everyone's involved, if they've got approval from the servicing company. And then again, as you guys remember on assumptions, they got to bridge that gap, right? So if there's a $200 balance, but this home is now worth 400, that buyer has to come up with additional 200,000. We're only assuming the balance interest rate. They can come with cash, they can come with secondary financing as long as their qualifying ratio allows for it, but they got to bridge the gap on it.
Yeah, and that's usually the downfall of a seller saying you can assume it. They're not gonna get a closing in 30, 60 days. It's
Yeah.
usually gonna be 90.
Yeah, it's a lot longer process.
So they have to have patience. So with the low rates back in,
September.
Yeah.
Just a few months ago.
until-
No, but even during COVID, you're right. A lot of these loans, they have interest rates in 2% and 3%. And so if the veteran wants to help us
And that's
do a
it,
veteran.
yeah, they got the low rate in COVID,
Yeah.
during COVID, they may want to keep that house. And use their VA benefit to get them that.
Yeah.
So think about that too, think about the low interest rates and what the potential is, they built equity. They want to keep it.
Mhm. VA appraisals, right? We get a bad rap sometimes, but Kathy cleared that up, so we're good. But I do want you guys to understand the process of Tidewater. So if an appraiser is having trouble meeting that particular price, Tidewater comes into play. We're notified, hey, listen, this appraisal's coming in low. We immediately reach out to the agents and say, we need to figure out how you met this price, how did this come about? Please send us any additional comps that you have. Now, there's a timeline on that, so we have to make sure that we get it to them within a 48-hour time frame, so that the appraiser can look at the new comps that are provided if he or she doesn't already have them, and then that can come into play. But it's super important that if you're working with the VA buyer and you get that notification, you don't sit on it. You immediately respond, because the quicker you are able to do that, then hopefully they can come with it. And I've had that happen before, but they also were able to come and meet the price that we have there.
If I'm buying a VA home and I know that there's this great appraiser and he's gonna come out and he's gonna look at all the things and tell me what needs to be fixed before, the home appraises, do I need an inspection still?
Yes,
Yeah, we always
Is that the
encourage.
same person?
no,
No,
No, it's a different
it
person.
is.
So what happens if I have an inspection and I ask them to fix things on the inspection and they fix things on the inspection and it comes back and the VA appraiser comes out and finds different things? Are they gonna have to fix those things too in order to be, okay?
yeah, that
Thank
is,
you.
yeah, just like any appraisal, if the appraiser says it's hazardous and or.
And a lot of people get tied up in that.
Yeah.
Health and safety.
A lot of people get tied up in they are not the same thing.
You gotta be careful, like, I've had it happen before where things came up on inspection, we got credit for them, and then the appraiser went out.
And said, no, sorry, gotta be done before closing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your health and
Careful with
safety,
that.
your broken windows, your
Yeah.
rails, your stairs without
Be careful with
rails, those type of things.
It's a lot easier now, I think, than years ago.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Appraisers and everything.
Again, though, it's just.
And it's not just VA appraisers or FHA appraisers that are doing this. I mean, I had a conventional loan and we're like, what? They want an engineer to come out here? I mean, they called out some crazy stuff,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't even take the engineer's letter. So it's not just VA appraisers.
But just be aware, they're two separate people do not skip on your inspection. I've seen it happen. Don't skip on your inspection because you think, oh, VA appraiser's gonna catch it. We don't know if they're gonna catch it or not. So, two different things.
And don't ever send your inspection report to your loan officer. Yeah, don't refer to it in your amendment to address concerns. Don't do it.
And just remember the bank has overlays. So bank underwriting on appraisals and underwriting, they're going to have overlays.
What's an overlay, Kathy?
They're gonna look at that VA appraisal and they're gonna dig into it deeper. They're gonna look at underwriting and dig into it deeper. That's just the model of a bank, you know.
So you may have certain rules, but then they're coming here with their overlay and they're like, those are great rules, but then we're gonna put those rules.
You know, the underwriter of the bank's looking at every picture, going, okay, what else can I see? Maybe the appraiser missed something.
Okay, guys, hold it down so we can.
You know, they're looking at every picture. They're trying to see if there's anything in there that they can uncover. I mean, unfortunately, we worked at a bank, so we
So
know
we know, yeah.
years ago. Yeah.
Before you guys finish up, has there been any major changes with the NAR settlement involvement with the VA loan process?
It's separate as far as the credit, it doesn't count into your 4%. So we definitely need to look at that and we'll present the numbers to the buyer. if they have-
Okay, all right, for them covering the buyer compensation.
Yeah, and then I also threw in there your minimum property requirements, your MPR. So again, safe and sound, your 3 S's, just so you would know what we were looking at. Again, more, so when people ask, what are they looking at or what impact? These are the things that you guys can have, okay? And I think that's about it.
So what I'm hearing is we need to check our database.
Yeah, and there's your Tidewater stuff that I was talking about, like you have 48 hours. So we just wanted to give you enough information so you can have, but please, you guys don't hesitate to ever reach out. Like I said, veterans are very special to us.
My dad was World War II Purple Heart veteran.
Yeah.
Brother-in-law retired Marine. I mean, there's a lot in our family too. And when anyone, if we work with a veteran, we take care of everyone.
Yeah.
But we're definitely gonna have a special place in our heart, yeah, for them.
100%.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
guys.
All right, guys, yeah, we do have conversations with them to try to overcome their fear versus fact mentality, and it does work.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up the meeting. I know we went a little backwards today, but we had some very special guests in, so give everybody who showed up a round of applause. Yep, and we hope you all will join us next team meeting because we're going to have David Chatham. Who knows who David Chatham is? Yeah, David Chatham's gonna come in, Brett Tilehaver and Jen Alacardi. They're gonna talk to us about buying land, developing it for new builds and large properties, and also residential and commercial. So, all right, featured events, we have the mastering the market of the moment, right? Come join us on the calls there. We have orientation and tech orientation. Those are every Monday for our newly joined agents. We have code of ethics, guys. Everybody has to get their code of ethics done between January 2022 to December 31st, 2024. If you haven't done it already, you can do it with Melba Franklin here in our office for the 6th, or you can go onto our website or your Board of Realtor website and do it online.
You like to, and don't have to do it on me or do it online.
Yeah. And, if you guys do happen to not do your code of ethics before December, you will have to apply for your membership with the Board of Realtors again. And it's a $70 fee for that. So make sure you get it done. All right, our Thanksgiving feast, we're gonna have our annual Thanksgiving feast coming up. We hope you guys can join us. Please RSVP by 11:15 so that we can order enough food and sign up to bring your favorite sides. We have Level Up with Andy Peters. He's gonna talk about the 90 days after the NAR settlement and kind of what's going on with that. So join us for that. We'll have a watch party for that on the 14th in the team meeting room. Arrow is going to be having their Take a Walk on the Wild Side on the 22nd. And then business planning with Laura Donna, save the date, it'll be in December, and you guys can sign up for that as well. We have 157 coats for the North Fulton charity drive. So great job, guys. We only need 210 more. So keep bringing in- we're up there, right? Keep bringing in your gently used coat.
They have coats for under $20 at Costco. Like,
Yeah.
kid sizes and so.
Or contact your clients, right? Contact your clients with these nice flyers. Let them know that you can help them clean out their closets and get some new coats in here.
I got that on my list.
And then we have our alliance partners.
Can we get what sizes they need more of that?
So they need more men's coats and then teen coats. So men's coats and teens coats, especially boys, they're needing a lot of those coats, scarves, hats, gloves, all those things. And again, they don't have to be brand new. So if you're cleaning out your closet, you can bring that in here. We're not gonna go deep into our alliance partners because we did have a little switcheroo with the timeline today. But we just want to let you know, you will have the slides for all of these in here. With their information on the different things they cover. The Onward 6 will be on here, and then services. We have Kelly and Sorhan. We have Georgia Natural Gas, and we have Diane Endeavors. Thank you, Chandler. Talk to her about your golden letters and your mailers, right? Like Jason Abrams said. And then your inspiration for the week, a life lived in service to others is a life worth living. All right. Then you see how caravans or open houses before we leave?
I have an open house, brand new listing over at East Cobb, Silk Creek, Walton High School. Open house Saturday and Sunday, 1 to 4. Send your people, they're protected. And yes,
Sally?
3%.
And my daughter and I have our first listing going live Thursday.
Woo!
We're doing a happy hour Friday. It's in Milton Alpharetta, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, gutted down the studs and redone in the last year and a half. Open house on Friday, 4 to 6, Saturday 2 to 4, Sunday 2 to 4. It's a condo, It's in Villages of Devonshire, off of Deerfield, Davis, Freetown. Congratulations.
And Lydia Fozzie on the Facebook group is looking for someone to help her host an open house. So if you're interested, check that out. Cynthia?
And I have a condo that I'm relisting in Atlanta. It's 310, it's a 1-1, 652 square feet. And it's on the first floor. And I need actually an agent to help me host an open house on Sunday 2 to 4. We're doing a community, open house. There's, 3 other condos as well. And we're doing a big, giveaway. So I think there's gonna be a good track because it's right next to the development. If anybody wants to do it, okay. I've got it covered, thank you.
Rhonda?
Well, I'm going to open house on Sunday in McDonough.
Give me the address.
612 Manbury Court. Yes. Bedrooms, 4 baths, 3 down,
All right.
I have a property in Edward, I did for the first time to buy it for investment. It's a 3-bedroom, 2 bath, it's on Edward. 2 minutes from 9 to I-75. So I will send it to everybody, just reach out to your database, investment for first-time homeowner. And I have an upcoming listing in 10 times county, now we're still deciding on that price, it's gonna be around $1 million.
Michael?
We have a coming soon in Roswell, in Brookfield, 695, ranch with a full unfinished basement, 3, 2.5, 695. So it's coming soon. We're probably gonna do an open house, not this coming weekend, but the weekend thereafter.
That's great, guys. So it sounds like everybody's busy. Everybody's getting some listings. That's great. Don't forget to meet with Sarah if you're looking to build your team or go to the next level for those advanced agents. And then Imran on Wednesdays from 11 to 12 if you're under 8 transactions and trying to get in there for the business. All right, guys. We're done.